Now, Tyler, the Creator, has always been seen as one of the most creative and fully developed artists in hip-hop. He's immensely talented, incredibly diverse, and over time, he's evolved into one of the most respected figures in music today. But it wasn't always like that. Early in his career, Tyler was known as the wild, controversial young man who said whatever came to his mind. No filter, no boundaries, and definitely no care for what anyone thought. He loved making people react. His edgy persona pulled a lot of people into his world, and he knew exactly how to leverage shock factor into building one of the most powerful fan bases in hip-hop. On top of that, he's always had a very polarizing personality. I mean, what can I say? Tyler loves pissing off old white folks.
What about him?
What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing. Shit to piss old white people off like you.
Tyler is honestly the kind of guy you either love or hate. And in this video, I want to go over some of his most controversial moments because he's obviously had a lot of them. Starting with the first one, the Mountain Dew commercial. Back in 2013, Pepsi was working on a new campaign and decided to tap Tyler, the Creator, for it. He created and voiced a wild, unfiltered character, a talking goat named Felicia. The idea was to be edgy, creative, and funny, something that would be congruent with Tyler's personality, but not everyone saw it that way.
Edgy new ad that has Pepsi apologizing right now. Critics call the online commercial for Mountain Dew racist.
The ad featured a white woman on crutches, standing in a police lineup room. The officer urges her to identify the suspect who attacked her. In front of her was a lineup of black men, and those men were Tyler's friends and fellow Odd Future members, along with the GOAT Felicia, voiced by Tyler himself.
All right, man, we got them all lined up. Nail this little sucker. Come on, which one is he? Point to him.
It's me. You should have gave me some more.
As the woman stares at the lineup, the GOAT starts taunting her with lines like, "You better not snitch on a player," and "keep your mouth shut." She panics, screams, "I can't do this," and runs out the room. Now the real question is, what happened next and why did this blow up the way it did? Well, after the ad went live, it quickly went viral, racking up millions of views online. While most people, including Tyler himself, found it hilarious, critics had a completely different reaction. One of the loudest voices was social scholar Dr. Boyce Watkins, who famously called it arguably the most racist commercial in history. He pointed to the fact that every suspect in the lineup was black, highlighting how it played directly into harmful stereotypes.
The ad features that battered waitress now on crutches being urged to identify a suspect out of a lineup of black men.
You better not snitch on a player.
This ad is destructive because it further pushes forward the stereotype of black men as being violent criminals.
The controversy quickly reached mainstream media, with many accusing Tyler of pushing racial stereotypes against his own people. Dr. Boyce Watkins added fuel to the fire, and it worked. His criticism put enough pressure on Pepsi to act fast. PepsiCo, the parent company of Mountain Dew, released a public statement, apologized, and had the ad pulled from all platforms, including the Odd Future YouTube channel. Tyler, of course, followed suit and took it down from the channel. This controversy didn't just go viral, it exploded. What started as one scholar's opinion sparked a ripple effect, with major news outlets picking up the story and turning it into national conversation.
I have heard all kinds of sick, horrible jokes that I'm like, you know what? I hate it, but I also hate that I think it's funny. This is just not funny.
And Tyler himself was, of course, not happy about the backlash. After the criticism started rolling in, he hopped on Twitter to defend the ad, claiming people completely misunderstood the concept. Tyler clarified that the woman on crutches was actually the same waitress who got attacked by the GOAT in a previous commercial, meaning the police lineup with the black men was a direct continuation of that storyline. Idiots, the lady in the new Mountain Dew commercial is the waitress that got attacked, retard, Tyler said. So Tyler was essentially trying to make it clear, this wasn't just a random ad. It was part of an ongoing storyline with a build-up and people completely missed the context. But despite his pushback, Tyler lost this opportunity that at the time would have opened up even more doors for him. The damage was already done, however, and the ad was pulled for good.
And now this turned into a big negative debate. Like, it f***ed my spirit up so much. Like, I was hoping that opened a door for me to do commercials for Fat Burger and then fucking Xbox.
Honestly, I don't really know how a funny ad featuring a talking goat, a white woman, and Tyler's friends, okay, which was a bunch of black dudes, right, turned into a racial discussion. I mean, personally, I just feel like it's proof that when people are, looking for something to be mad about, they see what they want to see. What do you guys think about this ad, by the way? Was this controversial? Was this racist? Aside from catching backlash for being a talking goat, Tyler's controversies, of course, don't stop here. We got plenty more to cover. Let's talk about the times he was actually banned from entire countries. Throughout his career, Tyler has been banned from entering several countries, and all of it stems from the same thing, his early controversial lyrics. The UK, New Zealand, and Australia have all taken a stand against him at different points, labeling Tyler a threat to public order because of the content in his music. Back in 2014, Tyler and his Odd Future crew were set to open for Eminem at the Rapture Festival in Auckland, New Zealand. Everything was lined up, fans were ready, the energy was building, but just days before the show, the government stepped in. New Zealand immigration officials made a last-minute call to ban Tyler and Odd Future from even entering the country. And why, you may ask? Well, because they labeled him a potential threat to public order. In an official statement, Immigration New Zealand said Tyler had been deemed a risk to public interest, citing past performances where he allegedly incited violence. And now the question is, what exactly were they referring to? Like, what are you guys talking about? What the hell? They pointed all the way back to 2011 when Tyler was in Boston, or should I say Boston, for a record signing on Newbury Street. That day, he climbed on top of a rooftop and started hyping up the crowd. Things got out of hand pretty fast. One police officer ended up in the hospital with minor injuries, and a 13-year-old girl was arrested in the chaos. That incident ended up following Tyler for years, and in the eyes of New Zealand officials, it was enough to deny him entry entirely.
If you're wondering why a portion of Newbury Street was closed this afternoon, here is your answer. Hundreds of screaming fans converged on Newbury Comics to get a glimpse of LA rapper Tyler the Creator and his alternative hip-hop collective, Odd Future.
So Tyler was standing on the roof of a building in Boston, right? Hyping up the crowd and, egging his fans on to kind of, go crazy with him. To him, it was just passion, a raw moment with his supporters, but authorities didn't see it that way. Hundreds of fans filled the street, the energy turned chaotic, and things quickly spiraled out of control. And like we stated, according to the police, right, one officer ended up in the hospital, and then a 13-year-old girl, got arrested. That incident became a key reason why New Zealand labeled Tyler a threat years later. And just like that, the country shut its doors on him.
So as you might expect, things got a little out of hand, especially when a couple of the artists decided to rile up the fans by jumping from roof to roof and yelling to the crowd.
Tyler responded to this by saying OF is banned, Odd Future is banned from New Zealand again. They said we were terrorists, threats, and bad for the society, or whatever. Sick, they are anti-golf. And then in August 2015, not longer after the New Zealand ban, it happened once again. Tyler was scheduled to head to Australia the following month for his Cherry Bomb tour. He had shows lined up in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney, but suddenly everything was cancelled. At the time, Tyler didn't say much. No explanation, no details, just silence. But behind the scenes, there was a lot going on. It later came out that Tyler's visa application to tour in Australia was under review. Now the question is, why was his visa application under review? Well, that's because a campaign led by a feminist group called Collective Shout, a grassroots movement that fights against the objectification of women in pop culture. They launched a petition directed at Australia's immigration minister, Peter Dutton, urging the government to deny Tyler entry. Their reasoning, his past lyrics, which they said glorified rape and violence against women, and his behavior during previous tours. And their campaign worked. Now, while Tyler was never officially banned from Australia, the pressure was enough to stall his visa, and instead of waiting around, he pulled the plug and canceled the entire tour. Once again, Tyler's past had, caught up with him, and this time it cost him a tour in the land down under. Less than 48 hours after the Australian news, another ban hit. Tyler officially canceled 4 more tour dates, this time in the UK and Ireland. No real explanation at first, just a tweet that read, "The canceling of the shows are beyond my control. Again, I'm not the type to cancel shows, only when it's legit not possible. Sorry again." Now the fans at this point, they're scratching their head, they were super confused, right? And this was for obvious reasons. Tyler was definitely holding something back, and just a day later he revealed what was really going on. Based on lyrics from 2009, I am not allowed in the UK for the next 3 to 5 years. The UK government had officially banned Tyler from the country, and their reasoning, lyrics from his early work, mainly Bastard and Goblin, which they claimed promoted violence and hate speech. A spokesperson from the UK Home Office later said, "Coming to the UK is a privilege, and we expect those who come here to respect our shared values. The Home Secretary has the power to exclude an individual if their presence is not conducive to the public good." And Tyler, he just couldn't fight this. I mean, there's no winning this one, because when a country says, "Hey, you can't get in, you're not welcome here, okay? That's it, ain't shit you can do, okay?" So Tyler, he took the ban on the chin, no diddy obviously, okay? And he just kept it moving. Now, lifting a ban like this isn't simple, but years later, Tyler being Tyler, he managed to make it happen, and explained how long and expensive the process really was. It took many layers and letters, much money and time, Then you get the official thumbs up. It was like, damn, finally. But it was so stupid to have to endure that. I got treated like a terrorist. And then New Zealand decided to, follow suit. And in 2019, New Zealand lifted their ban as well. A spokesperson from Immigration NZ said, Mr. Okonoma is no longer deemed to be a potential threat to public order and the public interest. That same year, Tyler finally entered Australia as well after his visa application had previously been under scrutiny. After years of being labeled a threat across multiple countries, he was finally free to go in, and so that's what he did. Aside from getting banned from countries and all the Mountain Dew drama, Tyler also has a long history of controversial tweets, and some of them are just very wild. They're very crazy, so we gotta talk about them, okay? Tyler's always used social media as a way to express his raw, unfiltered personality. A lot of times, he's used it to defend himself, but other times, it was just him saying, a bunch of shit for like no reason, right? Over the years, especially after Flower Boy dropped in 2017, Tyler's fan base has been growing extremely fast. With that growth has came a lot of new fans who haven't been that familiar with the older version of Tyler. And like clockwork, every time his name starts trending again, people start pulling up his old tweets, and suddenly there's a conversation going viral about whether or not Tyler should be canceled. And let's take a look at some of those tweets, shall we? Starting with one about Selena Gomez, which might be the most controversial set of tweets he's ever posted. Back in 2010, right after Selena turned 18, Tyler tweeted the following: "At Selena Gomez is now 18, so she can now legally take my DNCK and her own." And then a few months later that same year in September, he said, hashtag, "Since we're being honest, Selena Gomez is gonna take my DNCK, even her money." By the way, I can't really say these things out loud because, YouTube be bugging, so just read in between the lines. "I just want to F Selena Gomez in her freaking mouth." And then in February 2011, he said, "I want to F Selena Gomez in her mouth." And then that same month, he decided to tweet at Selena Gomez. And this is what Tyler said: "I am going to F the shit out of you." Now, these tweets weren't exactly seen as that controversial at the time he posted them. First of all, Twitter was in a completely different space during that time, and leading with this type of shock value wasn't so uncommon. Also, on top of that, Tyler wasn't that famous yet. He was another edgy internet rapper with a decently sized cult following, yes. However, the entire world wasn't paying attention to Tyler at that point. But of course, he was very big within the internet space. However, as Tyler's career started to take off, the tweets kept resurfacing, and the backlash got louder every single time. As for the tweets, by the way, Tyler was 19 years old when he said this, so he wasn't, some reckless 14-year-old just trolling on Twitter. Tyler was a grown man. He was 19. And even though his whole brand, during that entire era was shock value and chaos, there's really no defending this. Personally, I think these tweets were vile. Selena was a complete stranger to him. They had never met. She had just turned 18, and for him to, say something that graphic about her continuously over and over again, to me it's disgusting, no way around it. And honestly, I can see why people keep bringing these tweets back up. A certain part of Tyler's fan base might still laugh it off, but I think most fans today would agree that wasn't cool then, and it definitely isn't now. What's even more interesting is what happened sometime after these tweets. In 2011, Tyler won the Best New Artist at the MTV Video Music Awards. And who was presenting the award? Well, coincidentally, it was Selena Gomez, alongside Taylor Lautner. When Tyler's name was about to get called, you can catch a quick look on Selena's face, almost like she was surprised or even slightly uncomfortable to see his name on that paper.
For Best New Artist goes to...
Tyler, the Creator!
And it's really subtle because you gotta look really closely. It looked like her expression said, wait, this guy who is saying all these crazy things about me is coming up on the stage? Can't say for sure what that look or tone meant, but considering those tweets, it definitely felt like it meant something. Now fast forward to 2013, over 2 years after the tweets, Tyler revealed in an interview that him and Selena Gomez didn't get along behind the scenes. I wonder why that is, sir. I wonder why. Tyler also doubled down in that same interview, saying again that he would F her till no tomorrow.
I'm gonna keep it honest. I will Selena Gomez it's no tomorrow. Nah, we don't really get along. No, we don't like each other.
But the Selena and Tyler saga doesn't end there. First off, Selena Gomez never publicly responded to those tweets. She stayed completely silent on the situation. Years later, however, in 2021, after the release of his album, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler finally circled back to this and apologized to Selena. He did it on the song Manifesto. I was a teener, tweeting Selena crazy-ish, didn't want to offend her, apologized when I seen her, back when I was trying to F Bieber. So this was the first time Tyler publicly addressed the situation. He acknowledged the tweets, claimed that he apologized in person, and, said what he said about, Bieber. I mean, the guy's, apparently he's bisexual, right? Aside from the controversial tweets, let's talk about what might be Tyler's most infamous moment of all, and it wasn't a tweet, it was a lyric. Tyler's always been known for saying wild, shocking things in his music, and over the years, he's gotten a ton of backlash for it. But if we're talking about his most controversial lyrics ever, there's one line that pretty much tops them all. I'm sure you can take an educated guess, okay? Now, it came from the song Troncat. Troncat is a track from Tyler's Goblin album, which dropped on May 10, 2011, and it contains what's easily one of the most infamous lines of his entire career. Grape a pregnant man and tell my friends I had a some. So yeah, that line pretty much, speaks for itself, and obviously I can't vocalize it on here, right? To this day, this is hands down one of the most quoted and most criticized lyrics Tyler has ever written. It's followed him throughout his career, resurfacing time and time again, and each time it's brought a fresh wave of backlash. People have called for his cancellation more times than you can count, and it all traces back to that one bar among a lot of other bars, of course. Now here's the thing, anyone who's actually listened to Troncat knows what the song is really about. The point wasn't to promote anything. It was to say the most outrageous, offensive things imaginable. Not because Tyler believed them, but because he knew it would get a reaction. That was Tyler's whole gimmick early on. Shock value, pure chaos, and pushing boundaries, just to see how far he could take it. And it worked. He built a cult following off that formula until everything started to shift with that Flower Boy. Now to be fair, Troncat is a song that actually has a deeper concept behind it for anyone who didn't know. The character Troncat, which is where the title comes from, represents Tyler's inner voice or his darkest thoughts. It was essentially his conscience personified, telling him to do horrible things. So there is a twisted narrative being told here. For what it's worth, it's not just him saying all these things for the sake of it. There's a purpose behind it. And as for whether or not, Tyler should be canceled for this, that's a personal opinion. I'm sure you might feel one way and, another person might feel another way, right? Now, me personally, I think this falls under separating the art from the artist. Anyone with a functioning brain, to put it bluntly, can of course recognize that Troncat is meant to serve as a piece of dark, controversial entertainment, not a literal call to action. Unlike, let's say, when Tyler tweeted about wanting to F Selena. Now that right there wasn't art. That was just public harassment. But with Troncat, as controversial as the lyrics are, it was still within the realm of performance and character-driven storytelling. Ironically enough, that song actually ended up becoming the very thing that triggered the UK ban. It wasn't just Troncat that got him banned. They specifically pointed lyrics from multiple songs, including VCR, Blow, Sarah, Troncat, and French. The UK government cited their Home Office policy on behaviors unacceptable in the UK, a set of rules originally created to keep suspected terrorists out the country. In a letter addressed to Tyler the Creator, the Home Secretary explained that his presence wasn't considered conducive to the public good. They claimed his lyrics could potentially promote hatred or even spark violence between communities. Now, the letter went even further, saying that his early albums, Bastard and Goblin, were centered around a mentally unstable alter ego who graphically describes abuse, rape, and murder, and that the content could be seen as glamorizing that behavior. So yeah, it wasn't just internet backlash. This was, the government, like the UK government stepping in and, drawing a line, all because of what he put in his music. To me, one of the most intriguing things about Tyler the Creator is, despite his controversial career, how far he's actually been able to make it in the music industry. This guy came up with no filters, became a huge success in the industry, and he managed to build one of the most solid fan bases in the game, arguably, of course. He simply succeeded despite all the controversy in his career. One of the reasons why I think people rate him so high, despite everything, is because of his character and artistic development. Starting from where he started, it's crazy that Tyler actually made it to this level. These days, he's really grown into something special. And despite his flaws, you can't really deny the growth. It was just never really clear from the looks of it that Tyler was gonna become what he's became today. Of course, for better or worse, depending on if you're a fan of him. Let's just say that Tyler the Creator, despite all the controversy he's been involved in, has become one of the strongest forces in the music industry. Anyway, if you made it this far, that means that you probably enjoyed this video, so I would, appreciate a little like, okay? If you're new here, my name is Blacky Speaks, nice to meet you. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. We got plenty of room. What do you guys think about this topic surrounding Tyler the Creator? Was there anything that, you felt like I should have included in this video? Wanted to kind of, keep this video somewhat compact because, believe me when I say that I could have literally made this video like an hour long easy. Tyler is a guy who's just been involved in so much controversy. So, I could have maybe even made this an hour and a half, right? But I just wanted to include, the things that I felt like were relevant for this conversation. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the comment section below. And, most importantly of all, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Man, I'm out this Billy, man. Peace.